This is Olight's OClip ULTRA, a super powerful USB-C rechargeable triple LED flashlight made from a proprietary OAL aluminum made specifically by Olight. There's a lot to unpack with this light, so let's dive right in. Hey guys, my name's Adam, and today we're doing a quick review of Olight's OClip ULTRA. I did a review earlier on the Oclip Pro. If you're interested in that one, I have a link in the video description below. The Olight ULTRA has a couple unique features about it. First, it has a UV LED instead of the red LED that came on the original Olight Pro. The aluminum here is a super secret, special, high-performance grade aluminum. But Olight didn't know this when they sent this to me. I work in the aerospace industry, and I think I know what this alloy is. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. And over here we have the special edition Stars and Stripes version of this light for the 4th of July. So this is a limited edition, and if you like the Stars and Stripes version, I think it looks really cool. Make sure to go to the Olight store and pick this up. It's a limited edition, and use my coupon code GearsNTools to get 10% off, and they might have a special sale for the 4th of July, so you'll definitely want to check that out. You might even be able to beat my coupon code. So that's what this light is. Let's take a quick look at the general features. We'll take a look at what I think the alloy actually is. Then we'll round out this review with the UI, brightness modes, and run times, and some outdoor testing so you can see how this beam looks in the real world. I like to do a quick size review of all my lights just so you know what you're getting into. So this light is 2.25 inches long, 1.1 inches wide, and 1.1 inches deep. A really compact light. And it weighs in at 1.86 ounces, which is super light. You throw this in your bag or something like that, you're not even going to notice it's there. A really nice, small, and compact light. But don't let small size fool you. It has a max output of 530 lumens and a max beam throw of 130 lumens, or 426 feet, which is really impressive for such a small package. Doing a quick look at the features here, let's just talk about the clip here real quick. This is a super heavy duty clip made of aluminum. It's not plastic. So the body of the light is made of aluminum, but the clip itself is also made of aluminum. It's tested up to 10,000 times to make sure it's a good design. If something lasts 10,000 times, it's going to last 20,000 times. You know, it's a design that's not going to wear out on you. On the inside of the clip here, we have kind of rubberized area on both the clip and the body of the flashlight, which is great because you put this on a backpack or something like this, you don't want it to get knocked off easily. That's the worst thing, is when you have a nice light and you get home and it's missing, it ran away from you. A light like this, it's going to clip on securely and not get away. So A+ on the clip design. On the Olight Pro that I reviewed previously, I found this was a really nice size to clip onto the strap of your backpack when you're hiking and stuff like that. It's really works well as a forward-facing light to keep your hands free. On the front of the light itself, in the upper left-hand corner, we have the floodlight. In the upper right-hand corner, we have the UV light. And then the lower middle area here, we have the spotlight, which is the thrower beam for this light. And then on the front here, we have a really nice glass protective lens. It's not a polycarbonate or something like that that's going to get scratched easily or deform with extended use and heat. Really nice job, Olight. On the bottom of the light, we have a magnetic base, meaning this light can be attached to steel surfaces, which is really nice. For a light like this that's intended for hands-free use with the clip and stuff, I really like having a magnet because you can just stick it places when you need to free up your hands, and then when you need to run, you grab it off and it pops right off. So it does have a magnetic base, which is a nice touch. Another really nice thing about this light is on the side here, we have this nice toggle switch. It has 3 settings. In the very forwardmost setting is the flood mode. In the middle setting is the spotlight mode. And then in the rear setting is the UV mode. I really like toggle switches because you don't have to remember a bunch of awkward button sequences. It just is simple as flipping to the mode you want and turning the light on. And Olight's been doing that with some of their other lights as well. Here's the arc feld, and it too has a toggle switch. I think it's a really good design feature, and I hope they keep doing it. The light is IP6 waterproof, which means it can be down to 1.5 meters for 30 minutes. And the light is USB-C rechargeable. On the side here, you have a nice metal flap covering a USB-C port, and the light will charge in a little over an hour. Now the USB-C port, this metal flap isn't what makes it waterproof. The USB-C port itself is sealed. That's how they get the IPX6 rating on it. The metal cover here is just to protect it and keep it from getting dust and dirt and grime in there. And the Stars and Stripes Special Edition version is super sweet looking. It has an American flag theme on the front of the light, and then on the clip you have a nice star with some stripes behind it. It's a really nice design and it's a limited edition. So if you like this, make sure to get over to the Olight store and buy these before they're out of stock. All right, so I want to talk real quick about the Olight OAL alloy, the new super alloy as they call it. That's a super tough aluminum. And what is it specifically? Well, as I said earlier, it is a aluminum grade. It's not a stainless that's going to be really heavy, and it's not a titanium. It is an aluminum alloy, which they're saying is stronger than titanium. So let's take a quick review of what Olight is saying about this alloy, and then I want to hear from you guys, any metallurgists out there, what alloy you think this is, and then I'll give you my theory of what I think it is. Olight saying this is 1.77 times harder than 6061 aluminum, which is what most flashlights are made from. And 6061 is a good alloy. It's a good general purpose alloy. It's very corrosion resistant. It's a tough alloy, and it's relatively malleable, meaning it's not going to crack or have stress fractures and stuff when you're working the material. So it's certainly not a bad alloy, but being 1.77 times harder, this alloy is definitely something to be desired. And Olight is saying OAL is 1.46 times stronger than titanium, grade 2 specifically. And grade 2 is a pretty clean titanium. There's not a lot of alloying elements in it. That's pretty much pure titanium with a heat treat or something like that on it. So what I think this alloy is in aerospace we work with a lot of 70-50 grade aluminum, which is kind of a general purpose aerospace grade. It has a little more zinc and a little more copper in it than 6061 does. And that extra zinc and copper means it's a stronger and harder alloy. However, that comes at the cost of some corrosion resistance, which is fine in the aerospace industry because we're not using these alloys in the marine environment. The 6061 alloy is a good all-around general purpose alloy because it can be exposed to salt water and stuff like that or other harsh chemicals and be relatively okay. Where the 70-50 grades are a stronger alloy, but you don't expect it to be quite corrosion resistant. No, I don't actually think this is a 70-50 alloy. I think it's closer to 70-75, which is even stronger than 70-50. And they do that by adding a little bit more zinc to it than the 70-50 has. So I think this alloy is close to a 70-75 alloy, which is a really good aluminum. We use it in our more stress-sensitive areas of the aircraft where we need that extra strength. The airframe is primarily 70-50, and then in our high-stress areas, we'll use 70-75. Olight's saying this is a proprietary alloy, so my guess is they started with something similar to 70-75, and then probably add a little zinc or a little copper to it to get the color they wanted and get the strength up just a little bit. So that's my theory on what the Olight OAL material is. Let me know in the comments below what you think it is, but I'm pretty confident that this is a 7000 series aluminum with a high zinc or high copper content. So regardless of what this alloy is, I think it just looks really cool, and it's going to have a really hard surface finish and hold up really well to the wear and tear of EDC use. Now I talked about the USB-C recharging port here when we talked about how waterproof this light is. The light takes a little over 1 hour to recharge and has a 580 milliamp hour battery inside, which is the same as the Olight OClip Pro. And the light does come with a USB-A to USB-C recharging cable. It's a little on the short side, but let's be honest, most of us have USB-C cables already, so this is the perfect size to throw into your backpack to have just in case of an emergency. Okay, so in the next section, we're going to go through the UI and how to use this actual light. And I'm not going to go over runtimes here because it will take too long. I'll have a separate section in this video to go over the runtimes of each setting. On the side of the light, we have a toggle switch. Forward is the floodlight mode. Middle is the spotlight mode, and the rear is the UV mode. All the way forward, you press the side to turn it on, and then you press the side to turn it off. To get into moonlight mode, you press and hold, and it comes on in its moonlight mode, which is really dim. And then pressing and holding, you will cycle through the low, medium, and high settings. Now there's 5 brightness settings for both the flood and spotlight mode. The moonlight, low, medium, and high, and then if you double press the side button when the light is on, you will go into turbo mode. To get into turbo mode, all you have to do is double click the side button and you'll automatically come on to turbo mode. In the flood mode, that's 530 lumens. The same thing happens when you go to the spotlight mode. You press and hold to come into the moonlight mode. Then press and hold when the light is on to go between the low, medium, and high modes, and then double press to get into the turbo mode, which is 450 lumens for the spotlight mode. Note, when the light is off, you can double press and go straight into turbo mode without having to turn the light on. It should also be noted that the light has memory, so whatever mode the light was in, if you just press the side button, it will automatically come back in that mode. In this case, we're in the high mode, it came back on in the high mode. If we go to the low mode, turn the light off, turn it back on, it comes back on in the low mode. So I really like that this light has memory and it works in both the spotlight and floodlight mode. The final setting is the UV mode in the rear setting, and you just turn it on to turn the UV mode on. And I'm not sure how well the camera is going to show this. It's a different wavelength than it's really set up for, and it's actually pretty bright. We'll do some demonstrations here in a minute, but the UV mode does not have any other special modes, so we'll go ahead and just turn it off. Now there's two other modes. There is a beacon mode, so when the light is on, if you triple press, you'll see that the light just does a quick burst of light every 5 or 7 seconds or so. So that's the beacon mode. That's if the light is on and you triple click. Now there is also a strobe mode, so strobe light warning if you're sensitive to that sort of thing. When the light is in the off position, triple click and it will come on into the strobe mode. And the special modes do not get saved to memory, so when you turn the light back on, it will go back to its last used normal mode. So that's the UI for this light. It's relatively simple and intuitive, and I really like it. Olight does a really good job with their user interface. All right, in this section, we're going to just quickly go through the brightness and run times of each of these modes for those of you who are curious. If you don't want to hear me read this out, go ahead and hit the skip button and you'll go to the next chapter. When you're in the floodlight mode, the moonlight mode is 1 lumens and will last for 6 days. The low mode is 10 lumens and will last for 27 hours. The medium mode is 100 lumens, will last for 3 hours and 30 minutes. The high mode is 300 lumens and will last for 10 minutes, then step down and will last for another 80 minutes before stepping down for another 20 minutes in the low mode. That's a total runtime of 1 hour and 40 minutes. Then when you're in the turbo mode, you'll be at 530 lumens, which is really powerful for a light of this size. It'll run at 530 lumens for 1 minute, then it'll step down in power so it doesn't overheat and run for another 80 minutes. Switching over to the spotlight mode, this has a beam throw of 130 meters or 426 feet. And the moonlight mode is 1 lumens again and will run for 144 hours. The low mode is 9 lumens and will run for 27 hours. The medium mode is 90 lumens. It will run for 3.5 hours. The high mode is 270 lumens, will run for 10 minutes, and then step down in power and then run for another 100 minutes. The turbo mode is 450 lumens, will run for 1 minute before stepping down in power, and then run for another 110 minutes. And then finally we have the UV setting, which is a 800 MU rating, which I'm not entirely sure what that is. I'd have to research it. But it runs for 3 hours at the full 800 MU power and then steps down until it runs out of battery at the 5-hour mark. Really pretty good. Okay, so here is a little bit of money on the table here. We have 2 20s and a $10 bill. And as you can see the strips in the currency showing that it is indeed real US currency. And the $10 bill, you don't see one. And I don't think $10 bills actually have that strip in there. It's not a security feature that they use in the smaller bills. But in the $20 bills, you can clearly see kind of that fluorescent glow coming off when the UV light gets close to it. So the UV light's really useful for checking counterfeit money or checking to see if a room is clean or if bugs are getting in your house through a door seam or something like that. You'll kind of see this fluorescent looking kind of hue when it hits a material that it reacts with. So that's just a quick demonstration of how the UV light works. We're going to go ahead and take this outside so you can see the other beam patterns and what they look like in the real world. Okay, so we are in the testing area, aka my backyard, and we are going to start with the floodlight mode and then move to the spotlight mode. So the floodlight mode, we turn on the 1 lumens moonlight mode. We clearly can't see that far, but if we put my hand in front of the camera, we can see pretty well right in front of us. So this would be great for looking under a bed or in a drawer or something like that. Stepping up to the low mode, kind of a similar thing to the moonlight mode, only 10 lumens. Again, if we put my hand in front of the camera, we can see it, but not very far out if we look at the ground in front of us or the wall back there. This is the medium mode, which is the 100 lumens. Again, not super bright, but for up close work, putting your keys in the front door, putting your keys in the car, etc., this would be pretty sufficient. This is the high mode, which is 300 lumens, and we're starting to see a little bit more. If we look at the side of the house, we can definitely see it. The ground in front of us is pretty clear. The 300 lumens is pretty usable. I would use this in a parking lot, on a walk, on a sidewalk, something like that. But if we go a little bit further out, try to hit that back wall where the pots are, it's not as usable. All right, here's the turbo mode on the flood setting. And as you can see, it's very floody. There's not a real tight hotspot, but you can definitely see that the overall area is pretty well illuminated. I'm gonna go ahead and walk toward the wall just so you can see how well this illuminates everything around me as I move around the yard. There's 2 pots here. The wall, we can see the tree up there, the ground around me. That's the floodlight mode and the turbo setting. So for floodlight mode, this is pretty good. It's very floody, not a real tight hotspot, but for up close work and stuff, this is super usable. Okay, so here's the moonlight mode and spotlight mode. And as you can see, my hand's still very visible, but it's not super useful further out. Switching to low mode, again, similar situation, mostly for up close work, under a bed, a front door, something like that. But it's not gonna reach out, even in the spotlight mode, all the way to the back wall there. Switching to medium mode, we can see the ground in front of us a lot better. The house is visible when you point the spotlight toward the house. In the back wall there, we can definitely start to see things. We can see the tree up there. If I point the spotlight at the pots down here, it's definitely more usable in the medium mode. This is the high mode, which is, I believe, 300 lumens, and this is much more usable. Here's the pots, the tree up above the pots, pointing the spotlight at the side of the house. It's really usable, and we are about 50 feet away from that back wall there, so super usable spotlight mode at a distance of 50 feet or more. So that's the high mode. Let's try the turbo mode, and the turbo mode is a nice tight hotspot. It doesn't have any real sharp features to it. It's a very clean hotspot beam, and as I point at the ground here, you can clearly see everything right in front of us, and the pots there are super clear, and the tree, you can see a lot of good detail. I'm gonna go ahead and walk toward the wall so you can see what the spotlight mode looks like in the turbo mode. And yeah, super usable. I could easily walk around a park or something like that with this turbo mode. Up close is a relatively tight hotspot, but that's to be expected for something that can reach out 130 meters. I'm really liking it though. It really cuts through the darkness very well. Coming back to the camera, you can see that this turbo mode is super bright. Here's the turbo mode. If we triple click, we get the beacon mode, which will blink every 5 to 7 seconds or so. And this is a really useful mode if you want to save battery and want to be super visible. You could attach this to your backpack or your hard hat, something like that, and you get a blink every so often that lets people know, hey, I'm over here. Okay, the final test is strobe mode. So if you're sensitive to strobes, don't look at the screen. But if we triple click, 1, 2, 3, we can see the strobe mode. And this is a very fast disorienting strobe, and it's super bright at that full brightness setting. Turning the light off. All right, and there you have it. Those are the different beam throws at the different settings. Again, this is the spotlight mode that I have on. If I go back to the turbo mode, you can see it's a really nice bright hotspot, super usable. If I shine at the back wall there from about 50 feet away, the hotspot is about 5 feet tall. It's a nice even hotspot. There's not a lot of sharp lines or anything like that through it. It's just illuminates the area really nicely. That's it for the outside testing. Let's head back inside. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It helps to feed the almighty algorithm and keep our channel alive. And if you like this video and you think a friend would like it, give it a share. That's the biggest compliment you can give me, is when you share this video with a new viewer who might find value in my content. So I really appreciate it. You're still here? Oh, well, here's another video. Click this one. I think you'll like it too. Go ahead, just give it a click. Cheers.